Hello and welcome to M Sport Revival. Today I'm driving a 2016 BMW M4. This car has the S55 3-liter twin-turbo straight six, produces about 425 horsepower, 400 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in about a 4-second range, and this one has a dual-clutch transmission and weighs about 3,600 pounds. It is a very fast car. It has a ton of power. It feels more like a muscle car than kind of the older BMWs, which are more light and nimble and compact. This car really feels, it feels like an old 6 Series in its dimensions compared to like an E46 3 Series. So let's go for a quick drive. I'll tell you a bit more about it. The first thing you notice about driving this car is the torque curve is very flat, and there is just a lot of power everywhere in the rev band. However, there is just a hint of turbo lag. Those new turbo engines are really good, but you just have that small bit of lag that you don't notice unless you're comparing it to a naturally aspirated engine directly. But the benefit is you get a lot of power low down on the band, and it continues all the way up to the 7,500 rev line. Let's go down here. Although it does, like I mentioned, although it does feel bulky, it also feels very light on its feet for a car of its size. It changes direction really well, in switchbacks. It, absorbs bumps really well. It changes direction nicely. The weight of the steering is nice. There's not a ton of feedback through the wheel because it's an electronic rack, but the feel is actually pretty good. I was kind of amazed by that. The brakes are more than adequate, really pull the car down well. And as an overall performer, it's incredibly quick and very, very sporty. And that's really what I like about the car. What I'm not a big fan of is the kind of how it all blends together as a package. It feels a little overpowered. It doesn't quite have that cohesive feel of the driving experience of kind of the old M cars that I fell in love with. So to me it feels more like a numbers car. On paper it's an incredible performer, but as a driving experience it feels a little bit I don't know, disjointed, I guess is the best way to put it. Even though it's incredibly quick, you kind of miss some of that old M car nuance, where the linear power from the engine really complements the chassis dynamics. All of this, it just feels like a real brute force in the instrument, where it does everything well and with a lot of force and velocity, but it doesn't feel quite so. Ooh, a little bit of wheel spin. Cohesive as a driver's car. But that's I think of my personal taste is I grew up and fall in love with the older M cars, and so I think like many BMW enthusiasts have been a little underwhelmed by the direction of the design philosophy of modern BMWs. So I'll own my bias there, because it is certainly an amazing engineering feat to build a car that designs this well, or that drives this well, sorry. Anyway, I think for my money, this car starts around $65,000. I'd buy something that's a little bit more of a driver's car. I'd say like a 911 or Cayman, or an older M car probably. But that being said, I can see why a lot of people do like these cars. It's like a BMW muscle car is what it feels like, an Americanized kind of BMW, which is good and bad. It just depends on your taste. For me, it's a great car to experience. I'm really glad that I've had a chance to spend some time with it and get to know it. But for my money, I as a driving enthusiast and somebody who's more about the experience than raw numbers or brute speed, I would probably choose to go another direction. So anyway, that's a quick drive in the 2016 BMW M4. I hope this was informative, and have a great day.